Oh, it's close. There we go. Hello, welcome to this video, welcome to my channel. Today it's going to be a Q&A. Let's just get straight to it. When did you start track? So I started track and field when I was 8. I tried it at school, loved it, and at the time was competing as a gymnast, but begged my parents to take me down to the local track, which they did after a while of begging. And I started out as a combined eventer, so I started out in the, what do you do when you're under 13? Quadrathlon. And then a pentathlon, and then moved up eventually to the heptathlon, and then made the swap. When did you realise you had potential to be good? So even from when I tried it at school, I was quite good at it. I was springy, but I think that came from gymnastics. I think a lot of my skill in athletics came from being a decent gymnast. So early on, I sort of had clocked that I was beating other people, but it was very much a sort of, that only takes you so far. You know, the training came into play a lot more later on. How did you manage school and training, or uni and training? So I had really supportive schools and a really supportive uni that would let me take time off to go and compete. When I did my A-levels, I was doing bobsleigh, and while athletics is time consuming, you can stay in the country and do it and you can keep studying, but bobsleigh you need to be abroad, and so I missed, I don't know, between a third and half of my A2 year, but school was just so understanding. I went to Millfield School for sixth form, got a scholarship there, and my teacher would send me work. When I used to come back, I'd go away for 2 weeks, come back for a week, and in that week they'd give me all the work I needed for the week away. My uni let me sit my exams at the end of the summer so that I didn't have to take them at the same time as trials and things. I got extended deadlines on coursework. Basically, if you prove that you're a good student and that you will get the work done, schools are generally pretty understanding. Would you start a music career if you weren't an athlete? Yeah, I'd love to. I feel like I'm trying to start a music career even though I am an athlete, so fingers crossed we can keep pushing that. What do you do for recovery? So generally I try and get in the pool. The pools aren't freezing cold, but like it's being in water, like standing in water is enough to help to recover. And I don't tend to do too many ice baths and things. I do quite a lot of yoga for recovery. I roll a lot on, I've got a little thing, hang on. The orb, come on, focus. This is my favorite recovery tool because it's super light, so I can travel with it and it can get into most spots, but it's hard. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, that's my favorite recovery tool. I think the question also asked if I do that all the time or just after a hard session when I'm feeling particularly knackered. All the time. So it would be this and a little ball and a lot of stretching. All of that happens kind of all the time to try and keep my body at a level that I can keep training hard. Where do you get your inspiration? Ooh, okay, good question. I tell you what, I actually get a lot of my inspiration. It needs renewing a lot. I'm not the kind of person that like is able to find inspiration without trying very hard, and like once I've got something in my head, that's it, it's done, it's easy. It's not really like that. I seek it out in lots of places, so I read a lot of books, not necessarily sports specific books, but books like on motivation, get yourself together, a lot of self-help books. I'm a classic like that. I love them. What can I say? Podcasts, similarly, I love listening to podcasts. My favorite is The School of Greatness, if you want to go and listen to that for inspo. Very into that. I get a lot of inspiration from seeing what other people have done, and not necessarily in sport, in kind of all kinds of fields. Even Instagram, quite a lot of people on Instagram inspire me, and I will regularly go to people's pages. There are certain people that I look up regularly to see what they've posted and see what they've been up to, because I know that inspires me to sort of push myself and be the best that I can be, and whether that's in sport or whether that's outside of that. Seeing other people do that really inspires me. My favourite song to sing is actually a demo version of one of Florence and the Machine songs. It's My Boy Builds Coffins, but the demo version. I'll put a link to it in the description. It's so much better than what she put on the album, and I was mad that she did that. And it's my favourite song to sing, and I think it's great, so check it out. Why did you move to Florida? So I moved for the coaching group, so I now train with Pure Athletics, with Lance Borman and with this whole group here, and I came here to get faster. Because my biggest weakness was my speed on the runway, and that's what I wanted to improve on. I want to be better at long jump, and I think the way to do that is to get faster, and so I'm here. What is your preferred way to prepare for a comp? So I don't really have a strict ritual on this, and the reason for that is that we travel around so much that if I have too strict of a ritual, there's a chance that I'm not going to be able to do it somewhere. So if I say, okay, well, every time I compete before I have this meal and we're in Slovenia and I can't get that meal, then that disrupts my routine. So I try not to have a too specific of a routine. The only things I like to do is I like to do my hair, I like to do my nails, I like to sort of get myself feeling prepared, but I think that's really, really normal. I think everybody does that. I think when I feel like I look ready, then I feel like I'm good to go. How does it feel to be an Olympian? So that's just something I've always wanted to be able to say, that I'm an Olympian, and now that will never go away. You know, I got the tattoo. There it is. Because it's something that I'd always wanted, and you know, every time I'm able to say that, I'm very, very proud. It's something that nobody can take away from me. It's something that I'll have forever. It's something I work very hard to get. So yeah, really, really proud. Why do you think you weren't jumping your best indoors? Honestly, because I'd only been in this new coaching regime for a couple of months. I think I was expecting miracles. I was expecting the fruits of my labor to be ready, ripen, not sure, to be ready for me within a few months, and that's not how the world works, sadly. It's when you change regimes, it takes a bit of time. It's all about patience and trust, and I have that trust, and I'm building that patience. It's being tested. It's certainly being tested, but I am building it, and we're getting there. So yeah, I literally think it's just a matter of adjusting to a new training regime, adjusting to a new style of coaching and training, and we'll get there. I'm not worried. My coach isn't worried. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Bethany asked this. Hey Bethany. 10 years. You know what? I wouldn't even want to guess. What will I be? 33. I really hope I've got an Olympic gold medal. I really want that. But also I hope that I've pursued other things too. I think when I was younger, the only thing I really wanted was that Olympic gold medal, and now I've realised that I'm more than just an athlete, and I want to have achieved more. I want to speak another language by then. My Spanish is okay, but I want to speak another language better. I'd like to write a book. I would like to have travelled so many more places. I don't know. 10 years is such a long time. I think if I look 10 years back and go, when I was 14, did I want this? 13? Like, kinda. Well, yeah, I did. Of course I did. I wanted to be a professional athlete, and I am. But I would never have been able to predict all the other stuff that's come with it, the singing, the bobsleigh. That was not even on the cards. So I'd like to say there are a certain set of things that I would like to happen in 10 years, but I want to keep the door open for as many new opportunities and as many new experiences as possible. If you could go back in history, who would you want to meet? I don't want to give like a really basic, boring answer. You know what? I would want to meet Emmeline Pankhurst because I would like a little more of an insight into the suffragettes, to get into the psyche of someone like Emmeline Pankhurst and compared to the feminism of today, and see whether she thought what we've done with feminism is a good thing or not what she was looking for. I'd be interested to see that, so that's who I would go back and talk to. What would you recommend to aspiring athletes? So for me, it would be keep doing other things. Yes, pursue your athletics aggressively. Yes, commit to it, but pursue your other passions too, because you don't have to just be one thing. You know, I got my law degree. I had a single out. I did the anthem for the Commonwealth Games this year, for Commonwealth Games England with Tokyo Myers. Like, that's something I would never have thought to do, and especially not if I'd have been totally on a one-track mind. You know, you wouldn't have those opportunities if you don't open yourself up to them. And so I'd say keep pursuing your other passions, be a fully rounded person, but expect it to be difficult. As a what would you recommend to aspiring? I'd recommend the expectation of it to be tough, because it's tough in ways that you don't expect. I think it's much tougher on you as an individual. It's not just the training. The training's hard, but like, everyone can train hard. It's very much the kind of mental toll it takes on you, and you know, expect to have to grow as a person to progress in sport. But that it's beautiful when you get here. And I say when you get here, I'm not there. I'm still on the way, very much on the way. But I think for some people watching, they'll look at this and say, okay, well, you're there, you know, you've been to the Olympics, you've got medals at European and Commonwealths. That's not there for me. There's still so much more I want to achieve, but it's, even this, I think is worth it. Do I have a playlist for competitions? I do have a playlist for competitions, but it changes all the time. The only things that stay consistent are Ain't Nothing Wrong With That by Robert Randolph and the Family Band, Champion by Clement Marfo and the Front Line, Go the Distance from Hercules, obviously, and Jump by Criss Cross. Aside from that, it's a free-for-all. It could be anything. If it's something you would be interested in, I could make my comp playlist public, and then as I change it, you guys can see what it is. So just comment below if you'd like me to do that. Were you always talented at long jump, or has it been hard work? So like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of, I had a natural talent for it, but it got to a stage where like everybody was talented, you know, especially at this level now. Everyone's talented. Everyone's good at this. Everyone knows how to long jump. It's tiny, tiny, tiny margins that make all the difference. And so it becomes about hard work now. Like now that people are talented is kind of a given. You know, there's nobody in my training group that isn't talented. That's just not a thing. And that's not me saying that in a sort of boasty way, but it's like with elite sport, you only get to a certain level if you have a level of talent, I think. I mean, feel free to disagree with me, but that's kind of where I see it, is that talent gets you so far. It's definitely been a lot of hard work, and it continues to be, and it will continue to be, but I think that's true for if you want to be at the top of any field, you know, absolutely anything. This is not exclusive to sport. There's no way you can be right at the top and not work hard. It's just not a thing. Favorite food? My favorite food is sweets. Because that food, does that count? It counts for me. Sweets like strawberry pencils, Haribo, any kind of like Skittles. Sour Patch watermelons are the best. Sour Patch watermelons are my favorite food. There you go. Sour Patch watermelons and Kinder chocolate. Somebody else asked me what my favorite chocolate is. There's the answer to that, Kinder. Kinder is the best chocolate in the world. The little Kinder Maxi bars are too small. They're too small. You need to make a full-size one. Somebody at Kinder, if they're not watching this, which why would they not be, someone at them and tell them that they need to make bigger Kinder Maxi bars, Kinder Super Maxi, because that's not maxi enough for me, frankly. How to manage self-control with food and training. Ooh, that's a big topic, and to be honest, that could be its whole own video. If you'd like to see a video of that, again, comment below. But my quick tips on self-control, take the choice out of it. I think that's the biggest thing. With training, it's really easy because you have a program and you say, well, this is what I'm going to do, and it's written down, and you just do it because it's already decided for you. You don't really have this mental battle of, do I do it, do I not, should I go to training, should I not, should I do the workout? It's on the page, you just do what's written down. Whereas with food, I think it's much harder because you kind of, you get to go to the supermarket yourself, you choose the food, you cook the food, and so taking the choice out of it's big for me. That's meal prepping and meal planning. So often, even if it's just a day in advance, I'll write down in my notes what I want to eat for each meal the next day, and that just helps me to stay on track. It takes the choice out. Instead of me going, oh, what shall I have for breakfast? Shall I make pancakes? That'd be fun. It's like, no, okay, well, I'm having eggs because that's what's written down. That makes things easier, but there's just a whole world of things when we're running out of time. So that's a self-control tip for you. My biggest pet peeve is bad drivers. I have sort of horrible road rage, which my friends will tell you. Why can't you just drive properly? It's not that difficult. Like, you've all passed your driving test, I assume. Some of you, I don't know how, but you're on the road. There's rules, just follow them. It's very easy. It's not difficult. It's, why are we going so slow? Why don't you know how to use the lanes on the motorway? Nobody seems to know how to use the lanes. Nobody knows how to overtake properly. Just like, it's not that difficult. So bad drivers is my pet peeve. Why Adidas over other brands? So I've been with Adidas since 2013, end of 2012, 2013. And for the very simple reason that I like their shoes the best. So I was wearing Adidas spikes before I was sponsored by them. And so when the chance came up to get a sponsor, and that's always made the most sense to me because I wore the spikes already. They're the shoes that I think work the best. I've been happy with them for all those years and I love working with them. So it was a no-brainer back then, and it's still a no-brainer now. What did you learn from Gold Coast 2018? Oh boy, patience. Mostly patience. That I have to be patient, because as much as indoors should have in theory taught me that, I think I thought, okay, well, indoors is over, so everything should be better now. But it was only a month later. You know, I just want results so fast, and everybody does. We all want to win. We're all in this because we're competitive and we want to win, but I was gutted after Gold Coast. I was absolutely gutted, like, to come 7th after coming 2nd last time. Like, it just feels like such a failure, and it's not. You know, I can recognize that now, it's not. So I think patience is the biggest thing I learned. I'd like to say that I learned how to enjoy things without winning, but I haven't yet. I really wanted to enjoy it, but I found it so difficult to have fun when I didn't get the results that I think I could get. And you know what, it's not even the winning. I think if I jumped PB and still finished 7th, I'd have been so much happier, because I feel like I was where I'm supposed to be, but I feel like I'm underperforming at the moment. I have been underperforming, and that's what's bothering me. But training's good, training's going really well. So it's there. It's just got a click in competition. It's there, I know it's there. I mean, you know, I'm telling you, I'm also telling myself. This is a little bit of self-talk in front of the camera. It's there, it'll happen. I've just got to be patient, because that's the way sport is. Final question. Gold medal or world record? Gold medal. Every time. Every time. No one's taken that. That's mine forever. Yeah, it would be nice to be the best that's ever been in the world, but someone will be better than you. Someone at some point will be better. It's the gold medal every time. Thank you so much all for watching this Q&A. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to try so hard to be posting more videos more regularly, because I love doing it. I love interacting. I love the response we get. I love making them. So I want to make more. Let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to see. Thank you so much again for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and click the little bell. This side. I'm not good at this yet. We'll just do this, because the bell must be somewhere. I always see the YouTubers do that. So you can get notified when I post new videos, and give this video a thumbs up for me. That would be fabulous. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.